Welcome GOLD delegates from around the world. I'm Fleur Bickford, Program Director and MC for GOLD Conferences International. I'm here today chatting with Cathy Carothers and Sherry Payne, who are here to give us a little bit of a sneak preview of their upcoming presentation for GOLD Lactation 2015, when they're going to be talking about the 2014 Lactation Summit, Steps to Dismantling Inequities in the Lactation Consultant Profession. So Cathy and Sherry, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Okay, so this first question is for both of you. But Cathy, how about we hear from you first? And I would love for you to just tell our delegates a little bit about yourself and kind of your professional journey and how you came to be involved in lactation.
Oh, that's a great question. It has quite a lengthy story, and I'll boil it down to the more concise story. But I grew up in a very large family. My mother breastfed most all of us, 12 children in my family, and really, I think, gave me a legacy and a heritage of what it means to breastfeed and to have that kind of nurturing, mothering model within our family. But I actually got started in the profession of lactation consulting as a peer counselor working for the WIC program in Mississippi, where I worked with so many mothers who needed support and information, and it was just a tremendous opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people. And you know, went on from there. I became an IBCLC and decided, you know, when I grow up someday, I want to save the world for breastfeeding. So I just grabbed onto every opportunity I could think of to get in.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Cathy. Okay, so Sherry, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your journey and how you came to be involved with breastfeeding moms and babies.
Well, I came through a pretty traditional route. First, as a breastfeeding mom myself, I was a member of the Leche League and successfully breastfed my fourth baby. I wasn't successful with the previous three, but after successfully breastfeeding my fourth baby, I went to nursing school, became a nurse, and was very excited to help women in breastfeeding in my role as a labor and delivery nurse. And when opportunities arose to increase my credentialing in that area as a lactation consultant, I gladly took it. I got permission to be mentored by an experienced lactation consultant at her hospital, and so I did my hours with her for a year and then sat for the exam, and now I'm just on a journey to really increase the numbers of lactation consultants of color, not only in my community.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Sherry.
Wow, so you're not
Cathy,
letting too much out of the bag right now, but I'm just going to ask you one more little question. Can you just give me a little more hint of what else we'll learn from your presentation, Edith?
Thanks so much. And I just have to say this whole journey through the development and preparation and the continuation of this summit was an incredible experience, I think, for all of us. And it really was designed as an opportunity to hear from the missing voices of the profession, both in the United States but all across the world, understanding what barriers make it hard for people to access this profession. We know that this profession is still very young. It's only 30 years old. We know that we have a large number of IBCLCs throughout the world, but we also know that most of those IBCLCs tend to be from the dominant culture, those who have grown up and had the opportunity to have more privilege within their lives. We know that our profession is is lacking in terms of the number of African Americans in the United States, and Hispanic mothers.
That sounds very exciting, and I'll be sure to be there with you, listening into your presentation, and I hope that everyone else will as well. So we've run out of time for it right now, so thank you so much, Edith, with being with me here today. You've been listening to Edith Kerneman, and she's going to be speaking at our alumni presentation on January 26th. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
What are those barriers? We entered this process thinking we knew all the answers, and we thought we knew what was going on, and then we realized as we came along in the process, we really don't know anything. We have a lot to learn about what the world and the journey has been like for people who have not been able to be a part of this profession. So it was just an opportunity to hear those voices and to begin to put together some action plans for how are we going to address the disparities, how are we going to really dismantle the inequities that have arisen within the profession. So it's been an incredible some of our findings with people during this GOLD conference session.
Thank you, Cathy, and we are really excited to hear from both of you and hear more about it. Such an important, process that took place putting all of this together with the summit, and such an important issue. So really looking forward to hearing more about it during your presentation. So Sherry, my next question is to you, and I'm wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about what was the major highlight of the summit for you?
Sure, there were a lot of highlights. It was, as Cathy said earlier, a really amazing event. And it was a year in the process of putting it together. A lot of people worked really hard to make it happen, and it truly was amazing. But the biggest highlight for me personally was just being in that space and sharing that space with so many lactation consultants of color. In my everyday life, I just don't see that. I'm the only lactation consultant of color in my city. And so while I'm working to mentor other aspiring LCs, being able to network and just have these kinds of discussions with other LCs who can share their experiences from other places in the country or other places around the world was just really wonderful, and I really appreciated that time and really appreciated that experience. But it was just so unique and so special to be in a room with so many diverse LCs. It really gave me a glimpse of the future that we seek, that we won't all have to travel from the four corners of the globe to have this in one room, that each of us could have this kind of diversity in for what we're really seeking.
Wow, thank you, Sherry. That sounds amazing. It just sounds like it was such an amazing experience. Wonderful to hear about it. So my last question, Cathy, I'll pose this one to you, and I'm just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what you hope our delegates who will be listening to your presentation are going to take away from it.
Well, thanks so much. And, as I've been sitting here listening to Sherry's wonderful comments, and I completely agree with what she just said as well, I realize, and we do recognize as we've been doing this work, that there are a number of individuals who perhaps are going to be beginning this journey of understanding for the very first time. There are others that perhaps have been involved in this work of really addressing inequities and disparities within their field or within their organizations and their communities for a very long time. So my hope that everyone who attends the session will be able to get out of this is, first of all, just increased understanding and awareness. of what inequities are and how they can begin to affect something as broad and big as the field of lactation, but then really I hope each individual will walk away with a better understanding about what that means for them personally as a lactation consultant dealing with mothers and babies every day, families who perhaps don't represent the communities that they're from. I hope that people will walk away with maybe an inspiration that they want to increase awareness of the importance of addressing inequities within their organizations, within their hospitals, and within their communities. And finally, I hope people will walk away with maybe just a greater passion to join with us in this effort, addressing the inequities within the profession as a whole and really increasing access so every person who wants to be a part of this profession can do so. Is not going to happen easily, and it's not going to happen overnight, and we need a lot of people to join this effort and to help us as we move toward the next levels. The momentum is there, the excitement is there. Catch a glimpse of that excitement and join with us.
Okay, Cathy, thank you so much, and I want to say thank you to both of you, Cathy and Sherry, for being with us today to chat a little bit about your presentation. And I have to say, listening to both of you, one thing that really strikes me is your passion for all of this, which really comes across when you're talking, and it is so wonderful and so inspiring. So I am really looking forward to learning more from both of you and hearing more about all of this during your presentation. So thank you both so much for being with us today.